in it, but you have to use it one way. It's got a V notch. You know, you have to make sure the V notch is down. And it's having the multiple thicknesses of ink lines that makes all this three-dimensional work possible. Having this line a little thicker than this one and the rivets even thinner than that, it really starts to look three-dimensional. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over. I want to start working with the top. Maybe I can finish up this stab in this session. Now on these ships, the tail, the bottom, and the top were just a little bit different. And I don't know if I'm going to want to do that, but I want to look at both of them. I want to flip them both over, get an idea of just how similar and how dissimilar I made them. Again, the top I had much wider spacing on the rivets. And this one I had the simulated spar. Okay, now I have all the templates cut, and it's just a question of what variation I want to use here. Now, a couple of problems I always have with white ink. It is much more susceptible to giving fish eyes and inconsistent lines. And many times what I've done is get the first coat of white ink on and get a coat of clear on everything, and maybe I'll do that at the end of the day, is get one coat of clear on, then come back tomorrow and go over any spots that still look bad. There's always a tendency to, it's easy to get the dots right, but the lines, they tend to blur and they're not really consistent. Now when I do this side, obviously I want to make this side, there's no trim tab linkage on this side. I want to make this a little more consistent. Replicate it right out on this side, and then decide if I still have time to get a coat of clear on this before I have to end the session. I'd like to finish the whole tail. That would be one day's work to get that whole tail done. I know many people commented how much they like the white ink. White ink is really a lot of extra work, but once you make the commitment to do it, obviously halfway through you can't change your mind. I always like to check just to see that I haven't missed any little spots before I put the clear on. I want to see if there's anything I want to add to this. You know, it's like having a palette to work with, and between using the black ink, the white ink, the different thicknesses, the different spacings, you can always come up with something very unique. And this is what usually separates the top row models. Little details like this. Now tomorrow I'm going to start working on other parts of the model, so I'm just trying to get some ideas before I pack this in tonight. Some of the other things I might want to be doing. Have a little preview of what this color is going to look like with a coat of clear on it. Now the purpose of this clear is not really to make the part shiny or smoother, but just so if I want to go back and go over that ink a second time, it'll protect it in the time that I'm you know, just working on the plane. But anyway, I get the rest of the areas that I inked, one coat of clear on them. This is just one coat of Brodak clear. 60% thinner, sprayed with about 30 psi here. It's a little chilly. Okay, I put a coat of clear on this. Tomorrow I'm going to do the detailing on a rudder probably, and I just wanted to seal this up. A Brodak clear is so nice to use. It just really lays down, especially at this like 60 thinner, 40 dope. Boy, it just lays right down. Okay, we'll pick this up tomorrow. This has been a long day. Let all that dry up. Now what I want to do this morning, I have the books out. I want to practice a little bit on the bottom of the wing and see what I can get as far as getting some kind of a little layout on the ink lining on the bottom of the wing. Again, I always like to do the bottom first. The other little parts are drying up over here that I put some clear on yesterday. I can get a look at how that clear is drying up. And if I need to go over any of the ink lines, touch up the ink lines as I go. Again, the thing I'm trying to do is simulate some of these rivet lines. But again, it can't be a perfectly scale thing, but just having something that'll stand out, and when it's on the field or in appearance rows, the little rivet lines really are very dramatic and obviously very easy to do. This is where I think they look exceptionally good, is when they go through and change color from black to white. And of course I need to finish this part of the wing. I'm just practicing, just trying to come up with how I want to lay out a couple of these little parts at the bottom of the wing. And my philosophy always is do the bottom first, do the black ink first. White ink just tends to be a lot fussier. I always like this idea of having the black ink in the white of the invasion stripe, the white ink in the black part. In fact, in this plane what we did is I made the hinges in the white stripes black and in the black stripes white, so it would give it more of a tooth. That I thought was kind of neat.